Hello, this is me again. Looks like today we do have technical issues with the internet. So, for one thing, I had to move in the inside of my house. So, earlier on, I was on my terrace, which was much better for air. But there you go. What can you do? Perhaps the connection here is a little bit better. It's a bit like, dare I say it? Is it working? So at least I'm recording this and I am not giving up. I want to do this mini bite of English with you. So without any further ado, I will introduce you to the prepositions at, in, and on. First of all, let's take a look at the differences between these prepositions. Oh, and also to, of course, because it's at, in, on, and to. So let's analyze. Let's start with at and in. Let's say that, as you probably already know, at and in are generally used for position, while to is used for movement or direction. So if you compare phrases like she works at the bank and she gets to the bank by bus, of course, the first part, the first preposition at means that this is the place, it's a position, it's where she works. Okay, she works at the bank. But she gets to it, to the bank, by bus. Or, for example, if I say my relatives live in Devon, my relatives live in Devon, again, position. We go to Devon to see them whenever we can. Did I spell it correctly? Yes, I did. Mind you, if we mention the purpose of the movement before we mention the destination, we generally use at or in before the place. Okay, and to make this clear, I prepared this example. Look at this carefully. So if I say, let's go to Pizza Express for lunch. Now, Pizza Express is a very popular chain, una catena, a chain of pizza restaurants in the UK. Does it also exist here in Italy? Probably yes, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it yet, but it's definitely very popular in the UK. So I am saying I'm mentioning the purpose of my idea, my movement. Okay, so let's go to Pizza Express for lunch, and let's go and have lunch at Pizza Express. That's where I mention my purpose. Okay, so I changed what I just said. I'm saying that at Pizza Express means that that's the purpose of my movement, my journey. So I'm not saying let's go and have lunch to Pizza Express, because my purpose is to have lunch at Pizza Express. Okay. Another example, we went to Devon to see our family, but we went to see our family in Devon, not to Devon. Same concept as before. This is the purpose of my visit, of our movement, of our journey to Devon. Okay, so I'm saying it before the destination, the place in Devon. Another use, okay, let me just remove this, clear the space. Targets. So what does it mean? You know that there are a few verbs that have the preposition at, which follows. Okay, so after some verbs, at is used to indicate the target of a, say, perception or non-verbal communication. These verbs are just a few examples, but for example, smile or frown or point, look, famous look at, you all know that, and wave at somebody, look at somebody, point at somebody, frown at someone, smile at someone. Let's have a few examples, like he frowned at me. Ha aggrottato le sue sopracciglia nella mia direzione. Okay, this is the idea, frowned at me. Oh, why are you looking at her like that? at her like that? Why are you looking at her? But the idea of using at after a verb, especially a few other verbs that I'm going to produce to you in a second, is also used in a, I would say, more aggressive context with particular verbs like shoot or shout or laugh or throw. Think about this example. People are laughing at you. You are the target of this aggressive action of laughing at somebody, okay? You're the reason why these people are laughing at you. And this I don't like, but it's a clear example. Stop throwing stones at the pigeons. In other words, you're not simply throwing stones, but you're throwing stones at the poor pigeons. Poveri piccioni, annoying as they may be, they don't deserve to be thrown stones at, I would say. Phrases like, the teacher shouted at me yesterday. The teacher was angry with me and she shouted at me, at my direction. Okay, I was the reason why she was shouting at me. This is something that I think has been mentioned before, but it's always a good idea to remember this because it causes some confusion sometimes with the Italian translation. The verb to arrive, arrivare, to arrive. I often hear, I'm arriving, I'm late, but I am arriving. I arrive to the class, I arrive to the station. No, this is wrong. Arrive always wants, for one thing, the preposition at. Okay, it doesn't take to, never. To never follows arrive. It's always at or in, because you arrive at a place, you arrive in a place. It is not a progression of the movement of arrive. It's not a process. It's a moment where you are at that place. So it is not correct to say I'm arriving. You should, like in Italian when you say arrivo, sto arrivando. No, it's wrong. A friend had texted me to say I'm arriving. Wrong. I'm coming, nearly there. Sto arrivando, ci sono quasi, but not I'm arriving. Okay? And anyway, you arrive at or in a place. And here comes the preposition at. At is for a position at a point. Okay, think about directions in the road. So turn left. Oh, here we go. I thought I had an example. I've just seen it. Turn left at the next corner. Gira a sinistra al prossimo angolo. Okay, at the next corner. Or you can use at, the preposition at, also before the name of a building. Like you all know, at the cinema, at school, at the theatre. And also, of course, with proper names of buildings or organizations. Why not? So you say at Harrods. Harrods is the proper name of this huge shop in London. At the legal and general insurance, or with capital initials. But you say in a shop, in a big insurance company, okay, etc., etc. So if you have a proper name, you use at. If you have a generic situation enclosed in four walls, in the office, in a shop, in a bank, that's very generic. It's not the proper name. And of course, at is also used before the name of activities, of group activities, like, here we go, at a party, at a concert, at the match. Okay, these are general group activities. We use at, as you know very well. This was for place. Now we're talking about at for time. So you have the clock time at 10 o'clock, at 7:30, at 12 minutes past 8, at 8:45, etc., etc. It's always at. Also, at in time is used for public holidays. Think about at Christmas. It means during the Christmas holiday, during that period, or at Easter, durante Pasqua, at Easter, and also at the weekend. Now, this is very English, whereas American English would probably say on the weekend, but British English is at the weekend. So I was saying for public holidays, at Christmas, at Easter. But remember that for particular days, we say on a particular day. For example, on Christmas Day, on Easter Day, on New Year's Eve, etc., etc. All right? I hope this is clear. So let's talk about on now. We've done at, we've done a little bit of to, and we've done a little bit of in. Now let's do a little bit of on, shall we? On is used for various situations. Of course, you'll know if you, for example, if I say position on a line, for example, a road or a river. Her house is on the way from Exeter to Topsham. Okay, so her house is located there on that particular line. That's the position of the house. Or Stratford is on the River Avon. Okay, Stratford is on the river. On is used for a position on a surface, and we touch, on the wall, on the table. The cat is on the table. It never happens. Well, for Richie, it does happen, but Richie is not on my table today. He was on my cup, as some of you pointed out earlier on. And then there is this particular expression, on a farm. In fattoria o alla fattoria, chi lavora in fattoria è on a farm. Particular. For time, as we said before, on is for particular days. So we were saying at Christmas, but on Christmas Day. At Easter, but on Easter Day. On New Year's Eve, etc. And then, of course, for the days of the week, on Monday, or Tuesday, on Wednesday, etc., etc. Sometimes, in an informal style, on is left out. So you can find situations where you say, like, I'm seeing him Saturday morning rather than on Saturday morning. And this is particularly true for American English, but it's also a little bit informal. I prefer to use on as the rule. Let's take a look quickly at in as well. In is used for place, for a position inside large areas. Okay, think about a nation, a country in Italy, in Switzerland, in France, or also areas surrounded by four sides, in his office, in her car. Okay, so we go for very vast areas, in the desert, but in my office, enclosed areas. And for time, we use it for longer period of times rather than just a day, where we use on. So think a period of a month. So in March, in April, in January. For seasons, spring, summer, winter, autumn, or fall for Americans. Hello. Oh, I'm just hearing my husband and my son in the road. And also for years, in 1992, I visited Germany for the first time, for example. This house was built in the 16th century. 16th century, long period of time, in the 16th century. My garden looks lovely in spring. So this is the season, this is the period, and it once in spring. He died in 1980. He died in 1980, not on, not at, in for a year. Also, we use in for a part of the day. So we say in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And we say at night is a little exception. Now, be careful here because in the night exists. It's not forbidden. But if you say in the night, it means in a particular night. Okay. Whereas if you say at night, you mean any night, very generic. So there is this difference. In is also used to say how soon something will happen and to say how long something takes to happen. If I say something like, I will ask you again in 3 or 4 days, this is a sort of period in the future, and I'm saying how soon this thing to happen will take place. Okay, so when I am going to ask you again, I will ask you again in 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days from now. Okay, so I hope this was useful. I'm so sorry that the connection went all wrong. Obviously, now there are no problem whatsoever because whatever it was that caused the issues, the technical issues earlier on when I was on my terrace and happy as Larry and just feeling the breeze and the cool. Now I'm indoors, inside, in my room, but there you go. That's what happens. So everything is okay now. I hope we can have another live stream very soon, perhaps during this week, not waiting for next Monday. And thank you for being with me, and thank you for being tenacious earlier on. And once again, sorry about that. See you soon. Bye.